The following story was told by Sara, a writer, spoken word poet, and mental health advocate from Mental Health Connecticut's Right On program. This story is raw, personal, and contains language that may not be suitable for younger listeners.
I take the back roads to Western Mass. I don't remember what town. Only that I cannot take the most familiar highway. Any evidence that this is casual is where I lose it again. I'm driving to meet a man I met on Seeking Arrangements so I can collect $500 for whatever arm candy I can boil myself down to. My college friend says she lets men take her out for drinks and that's all, and she gets paid for it. And I say, I know how to be a lot to look at. I say, me too. I was a theater kid, and it tends to be my go-to when people ask how I can share such intimate poetry. I'm lying. I ostracize my guilt in the poem, filter the shame with a tambourine, shake my words into the right shapes. So when I arrive at the Marriott, it's as if the poem has already begun. I'm 22 and in one of the best relationships of my life, not with myself or the eyeshadow that behaves like two open sores. It hurts to look straight ahead. The tits in the dress like pollen swells, thong slices ass like watermelon, theater kid, gay, with the whole stage and no nerves. I meet an older man whose immediate sex-starved delirium writhes in every question. Does not refer to me as Sara, but with a name I've shot to hell by now. I want him to stop making me feel important when I've never felt more humiliated in my entire life. I'm wishing that the Sara in me wore a silk suit to glide out of, let it gape for me in movements like blowing ribbon. It wouldn't matter what he kept of it. A step beyond the Massachusetts border would be far enough. I can tell you what I ordered at the restaurant. Now 3 years later, the butternut squash ravioli, a waitress puts her hand on my back for one rescued moment, but I am so deep inside this scene. Her face, her knit brows, I will ever forget to remember her name on the check that he gets, folds, asks if I'm ready to leave. A car ride with a 300-pound man with the appropriate proportion of cologne and Greek greased-back hair. It's a nice car, so I forget that I might be in danger, that he could lock me in his trunk, scalp me, murder me, leave me in a ditch with limbs as tapered and wrecked as broken bird legs. And I am thinking about $500 as if it will really get me that far. And I am trying to forgive every moment of being uncomfortable as simply as digestion does. I said yes, so that doesn't make it wrong. Because I am attracted to getting more than what I give. Give this strange man the entirety of a bird skeleton gut. Don't look at the mirrored closets next to the bed, the saturation of a bedsheet, his knowing of my eyelids like every open wound. Exposure is just a poor barter with an aperture, but grieve. Sara, she tries so hard to not be too much to look at, but God, please let me have one moment where I don't feel like my organs can't hide from the word sexy. The word sexy clatters like a tambourine when it's thrown into a trash can behind the Marriott, along with my car keys and my wallet and my sensibility. Get $500 in cash. But unable to drive. Theater kid on the side of the road, knowing his gluey breath is still on me, soaked through the costume. Violated a little girl in the middle school play. But it won't be on the news. Just buried in a nausea I can't name or explain. I call my cousin from the side of the road. Can't go home to see my normal just yet. I sink into her bathtub where the dripping of the faucet is enough to steam a kiln. I sweat, watch my vulva open like the traffic during a funeral procession, so soft and sad. This is my body. It's the word they say you shouldn't overuse in a poem when you're doing it for attention. Well, I did it for the money. When I was too alone to know that's different from being poor. So here you go, body, 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 my wet hair on my back, and I feel it seep. Let my body become vulnerable to my own touch. Become poor once more. Lick the pollen out of my wounds. Say, Sara. I say, me too. Thank you.
This story was recorded in front of a live audience at CT Improv's Theater in Hartford, Connecticut. Want to hear more young adults find their voice and speak their truth? Go to mhconn.org/writeon. That's WRITEON.